When Springfield Public Schools announced plans to build the new Pipkin Middle School in an industrial area near Highway 65, the idea was met with almost universal pushback.
That's right. Email records obtained by Color 10 Investigates show parents, nearby businesses, the railroad company, and even the city's Planning and Zoning Commission all urged the school district to pick another location, citing problems with safety and transportation. Investigative reporter Lauren Barnes dug into hundreds of emails which show some of the challenges the district has faced and where they may go next.
Bailey and Steve, documents show this highly controversial piece of property off of East Pythian on the eastern side of Springfield was actually not the district's first choice, and it's not their last.
My kids are in sports, so I know it's a very big ordeal when we don't have a track.
We have a great team of experts in commercial real estate development that are looking as we speak for that right piece of property.
And so, the search for a new Pipkin Middle School site continues. Emails Color 10 Investigates obtained through an open records request showed the search for land began well before the issue was brought to voters. In September 2022, the city talks about buying up buildings Assemblies of God owns near the church's headquarters. It's more than 8 acres down the street from where Pipkin sits now. I asked district spokesperson Stephen Hall if that site near Boonville and Division is still a contender.
It really would not be appropriate for me to speculate about what options the district continues to pursue at this point.
Records show Springfield Public Schools had another property in the works since 2022. It would have utilized part of the Springfield Greene County Park Board's Nichols Park.
There were some preliminary discussions about this middle school locating in Nichols Park, and initially there was a lot of interest in that.
Emails indicate those preliminary discussions took place over months. Then on February 28th, the city internally announced a conflict. Nichols Park receives federal funding that restricts how the property can be used.
Parks that are developed with this LWCF funding are intended to be preserved through the generations in perpetuity.
It means all of Nichols Park needs to stay open to the public during park hours, including the proposed school building. SPS leadership couldn't seem to reconcile the safety concerns. Superintendent Dr. Grenita Lathan was frustrated the district dedicated so much time to a dead-end prospect.
Did the Parks Board drop the ball on that?
You know, I think that we were working as partners to try to identify a really unique, workable solution. We had lots of green lights and thought that that was going to work out right up until really the last minute. And so we were heartbroken that that didn't work out.
But when the Nichols Park idea died, another came to life, seemingly at a critical moment. 20 acres of land on the eastern edge of the attendance boundary in an industrial park near Division and Highway 65.
When the school district announced that it had entered that real estate contract 5 days before the April 4th election, of course, with all this funding, $220 million on the line, is there any discussion that may have been rushed in an effort to persuade voters to vote yes?
No, I think what we were doing and what we did was demonstrate to voters that we were delivering on a promise. What we said was we would do everything possible to make sure we had secured a piece of property and announced where we intended to build before voters went to the polls.
But then another snag in July. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted against the sale.
I think this is a lousy solution.
The school would stand out like a sore thumb in a place like this.
It's almost dystopian.
I think that great idea is wandering down to being the least worst choice.
The school board could have moved forward without a blessing from Planning and Zoning, but by September, criticism over safety concerns brought SPS to its breaking point on the deal.
The safety for my kids is number one. So if they pulled out for that reason, I know that they had very good reason.
SPS lost $25,000 in contractual real estate fees when it pulled out of that Pythian property sale. But Stephen Hall says other taxpayer money spent on design fees won't necessarily be a waste because they can likely use that same design on a different plot of land.
So, Lauren, we know that Springfield Public Schools was supposed to begin construction in that industrial area at the start of the new year. So are they behind schedule now?
So that schedule was specific to that piece of property on Pythian. Overall, looking at the big picture, the district has until 2028 to fulfill its promise to voters who approved Proposition S this past April that agreed to use that money to build a new school, among other things. With construction expected to take about 2 years, the district does not anticipate needing to extend that deadline. And Hall also said they are expecting to announce building plans in the very near future.
All right, Lauren Barnes reporting tonight. Thank you, Lauren.